So in this video, I kind of want to go over the hidden gems, or at least places that are least known, or less known, around Yellowstone National Park, which is where I worked for 2 summer seasons. So I'm pretty familiar with the area. But the first one is Cody, Wyoming, which is on the east entrance of, if you leave through the east entrance of Yellowstone National Park, you will hit Cody, Wyoming. I really like Cody. It's a pretty small town, but it is it has so much personality, so much atmosphere. The rodeos there are pretty famous. So, if you've always wanted to see like an authentic Western cowboy sort of rodeo, Cody's the place to go. It is definitely a sort of cowboy town, very touristy, I will say. Their main street, in the summer is just lined with gift shops and t-shirt shops and things like that. But also some really cool shops as well that have like real authentic like jewelry, gemstones, fossils, clothes. You're getting like a real experience as well as it being touristy, but you're right next to Yellowstone, you can't not be touristy, But besides the rodeos, I would say the other, arguably more interesting attraction for Cody is their Western Museum. I actually never had the chance to go there. I always wanted to go there. I hear it's supposedly 3 museums in one, and it kind of goes over, part of it goes over the life and legacy of Buffalo Bill Cody, which the town is named after. A lot of history behind him, but then also, local history and things like that. But yes, super interesting. I've always wanted to go and just never had the chance. But if you want to know more about the area and the Old West and all that, that is pretty much the museum to go to. It's a huge museum. I've had some friends go to it, and you could spend all day in there and still not see all of it. So it's definitely an all-day or multiple-day excursion. But yeah, Cody is just a really cute town. I would say it's about an hour and a half outside of the east entrance of Yellowstone, or at least coming from the lake area inside the park, which is where I was. But yeah, really nice, and it's a beautiful drive as well if you're coming from Yellowstone or going to Yellowstone from Cody. Sylvan Pass is up there, and just winding roads, mountainous cliff sides, and yeah, super just incredible landscapes. And coming from that entrance, you might also see some mountain goats. Mountain goats are up there. You might have to crane your neck up to the cliff tops to notice them, but they're around. So that's always really cool to see. And bears sometimes as well, like grizzly bears are out in that region. Now, besides Cody, for the hidden gems around Yellowstone, Earthquake Lake is on the other side of Yellowstone. It's more out towards the west entrance of the park. Really, really cool place. I remember, so the first time I ever went to Yellowstone was when I was 17, many years ago, and that Earthquake Lake was the place that we somehow ended up stopping before we came in through the west entrance. And it is such a cool area. It's a lake, and there's all these dead trees just spitting up out of the water. And if you're into photography, that's the place you got to go for sure, because it's such a cool area. It's pretty quiet, or at least it used to be quiet. I think it's still relatively quiet compared to the park itself. Kind of a detour, from the park. But yeah, really cool area. Lots of wildlife, mountainous. It's mainly a photo opportunity and a place to kind of hike around, I would say. So there's not too much more to do there other than that, but it's still really cool to see. I have not been able to see it again since I was 17, but I would like to visit it again for sure. Yeah, because not too often you could see a whole forest of dead trees just like in the middle of a lake. But yeah, so besides that, Gardner, Montana, which is at the north entrance of the park, it is a gateway town. Pretty much any town outside of the park is considered a gateway town. But Gardner is, then at the north entrance, pretty close to Mammoth Hot Springs inside the park. But to get from Mammoth to Gardner, you have to go down this. It's an incline or decline or whatever you call it. Super windy road until you come out of the mountains, and then you're in Gardner. And you can actually feel the difference in temperature just from the sheer elevation that you lose going down to Gardner from Mammoth. But Gardner is it is a pretty touristy town. I would say less authentic than Cody, because there's 4 gateway towns. The north is Gardner, the east is Cody, the west is West Yellowstone, and the south is Jackson or Jackson Hole. And out of the 4 of them, Cody, I would say, is the most authentically like Old West. Still very touristy, but more authentic. Gardner is more touristy. They have a lot of whitewater rafting, but then a lot of gift shops, and like everything's super expensive. I would say that's the most expensive. Well, second most expensive. Most expensive is Jackson, because that's a super rich billionaire area down in the Tetons. And then West Yellowstone is the most touristy for sure. It's all like t-shirt shops and, stuff like that. Anyway, Gardner is cool though, because it's a very pretty area, because you have the mountains of the park like right in front of you. You could look up at them. They have rodeos as well. I've been to a few of them, and it's an experience. It's a really fun experience. They have this really pretty river, the Yellowstone River, that goes down under this bridge here. I actually whitewater rafted down that one time, and that was really fun. Even in July, which I think I did it, the water was still pretty cold, but like refreshing. But really interesting like landscapes, I would say, rock formations. The restaurants, I would say that's where you start to like realize that you are in a tourist town, because at least the ones I've been to, the restaurants aren't that great and they're really, really expensive. So yeah, I would, if you're gonna be in Gardner, see if you could find somewhere to eat outside of Gardner, just because of that reason. But other than that, I think Gardner's a really fun, like, cute town, for sure. And then if you go a bit farther north from Gardner as well, you will enter Paradise Valley, which is a stunning valley. Apparently, like, some actors and actresses own homes up there. But yeah, super scenic, like, mountainous, and just like, yeah, really, it's hard to describe unless you see it. It's just such a pretty area. But yeah, Gardner is a nice place to stop, especially if you're going to be in the northern section of the park, like Mammoth Hot Springs, or the Roosevelt area, Lamar Valley. You might as well hit Gardner while you're up there. But yeah, and it has some, I will say, it has some cool, the gift shops that they have are really cool when it comes to like gemstones and Native American like artwork or jewelry and things like that. So I really enjoyed their gift shops, I would say, more than the gift shops even in Cody or West Yellowstone. Let's see. The Beartooth Highway is another really fun place to visit. It's not like a singular place, it's a highway. If you go up through the northeastern entrance, so leaving through Lamar Valley in the park, you leave the park, you are on the Beartooth Highway pretty much. You'll pass through some small little moody towns. Cook City and Silvergate are two of them, very small. And then you'll go, further into the Beartooth Highway, the Beartooth Mountains. It's called Beartooth because there's a mountain that's super sharp and looks like a bear tooth. You definitely want to have a good car for that ride. It's a crazy mountainous, high elevation, like switchback sort of roads, very steep. Very beautiful though, very beautiful. It's open for a very small section of the season, just because it gets snow early, and the snow sticks around because the elevation's so high. So they open it, when it's safe and the snow has retreated to a certain extent. But yeah, super pretty. There's some campgrounds up there as well. I never had the chance to camp up there, but we did check out some of the campgrounds, just like thinking about it. And it's like really just stunning area. Wildlife everywhere, bison. You got some of the, what's it called? Not antelope. Something like an antelope. I'll think of it at some point. But yeah, there's bears up there. Of course, you always have to be careful of the bears if you're going to be camping or anything like that. But if you go through the whole Beartooth Highway, you will reach Red Lodge, which I have been to, and we ate at one of their restaurants there, Bogart's, I believe, like Humphrey Bogart. But yeah, so Red Lodge is used to be a mining town, I think a silver mining town, but I enjoyed it. They had some really cool gift shops as well. It was closed when we went, but there is a small museum of the old vehicles they used to use in Yellowstone National Park. In Yellowstone, the oldest one they use is from the 1930s. It's a bus. They have multiple buses from that period that they use for tours, mainly. But yeah, all those old vehicles used to be used for transportation, and there's a small museum down there in Red Lodge where they have just the historical vehicles from the park, which I think is really cool. They all have the specific yellow paint jobs and everything. But other than that, because I went to Red Lodge on a tour, I didn't drive there. So it's hard to say how much more there is to see in Red Lodge, but just seeing the town itself is really, it's a cute town. It has all these brick buildings and little shops and stores and restaurants. So it's nice to spend the day there, and then of course you have the stunning mountain scenery all around you, so hard to beat that for sure. But yeah, I would recommend having a good car if you're going to do the Beartooth Highway, because it is an intense drive for sure. And also, if you're afraid of heights, you might want to skip it. But other than that, it's definitely worthwhile. And then let's see, the last one is the Wind River Range, Wind River Mountains. That is a mountain range that I feel like doesn't get enough attention. You can reach it if you go down through Yellowstone, down through the Tetons, and then a bit farther, more south. But there's just some stunning mountain scenery out there. It has Gannett Peak, which is, I believe, the highest peak in Wyoming. And just has some stunning hikes and trails and, again, wildlife and everything like that. Very remote, I would say, compared to the park itself. But again, if you're into photography or even just an outdoor enthusiast, a hiker, a camper, the Wind River Range is where it's at. I would say it's out of everything on this list, it is probably the farthest away from the park, but still in proximity, where I would say, if you're driving either to the park or from the park, you're probably going to run into this unless you're coming from the north, because it's, again, kind of southeast from where Yellowstone is. But yeah, really spectacular mountain scenery. The little town of Pinesdale is down there. I think it's kind of the closest town to the Wind River Mountains down there. But yeah, all of Wyoming and Montana and, parts of Idaho, all around that area, super stunning landscapes, really interesting geological history, really fun to read about it, learn about it. And then of course, if you enjoy wildlife and animals and everything, you're going to see tons of that. It's really a very wild area, I would say. And yeah, not a lot of people are out there, so the roads are nice and empty most of the time. But yeah, just those are just a few. Of course there's more, but I wanted to do a shorter video today, so just a short list of some hidden gems around Yellowstone National Park. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in more, I post about once a week at this point. So stick around. Bye.